How can we deal with people or situations that we perceive as toxic? This is a big question. I think it's a $1 million question.
I can now write happy songs, and it's because of who? You.
There are many things we can do, but today I would like to focus on staying away from toxicity, or what we perceive as toxicity or toxic situations. And I know that sometimes it's not easy, or sometimes it seems impossible, but I would like to share how I do it. I would like to share with you real examples of my life, how I distanced myself from toxic situations and people. And it's not easy. It's not easy to set healthy boundaries. It's not easy to say no. It's not easy to tell the truth. But toxicity is really harmful. It's pernicious. Even if we don't realize it and we think, okay, I'll meet that person, she'll drain me of my energy, but then I'll get a good nap and I'll be as good as new afterwards. Well, it's not as simple as that. Every time you expose yourself to what you perceive as toxic, it eats away at your soul. And if you can't avoid it, well, try to just, regulate how much you give. But let's try to talk about how to just distance yourself from the situation. Personal example. Not easy to talk about it because it's kind of taboo. I had to distance myself from a very close relative. Actually, I've gone no contact, but that was like the last resort. I'd like to start from the beginning. Hopefully, you'll never have to go no contact, especially with a relative, because of the stigma, because of everything. It wasn't an easy thing to do, but it was a matter of life and death for me. Anyway, before we go to the last resort, in the beginning, I just tried to minimize contact, minimize when I saw that person. I made up excuses. I pretended to be busy. I wouldn't answer the phone. I have the right. Did you know that you have the right not to answer the phone? Well, I didn't. Well, at some point I realized that it's my right not to answer the phone. If someone calls me, it doesn't mean that I'm obligated to respond or reply. So I just answered and then messages, and I would reply to half the messages, and I would just, take my time between meetings or contact, either on the phone or in person. And what you need to remember is that you can control who you see and who you don't see. And you can control who you talk to or who you don't talk to. So don't be afraid to tell someone, I don't feel like seeing you today. And if you're not comfortable telling the truth, well, make up excuses. And when excuses don't work, then you could even say, do you know something? I don't know, mom, auntie, sister, you drain me of my energy every time we talk. This is what happens, or this is actually how I feel. They might get mad at you, but if they're truly toxic, this won't stop them. They'll start blaming you, and they will ask you to fix the situation because you're the problematic one. Well, don't fall for it. It's so easy to fall for it, especially for us sensitive women. It's so easy to be so sensitive to other people's feelings that we forget our own. So just keep your distance and choose when and how often and for how long you will contact these people. If the person cannot respect your boundaries, if the person cannot respect, you when you feel like seeing them or when you want to give them your time and energy and just try to steal it from you, well, I don't know, put up some more barriers. Again, you have the right to protect yourselves. You shouldn't be anyone's like doormat. You can say, no, I don't feel like seeing you. And, if you can't say it, just don't answer the phone. Again, personal example, I remember a time when that particular relative couldn't take the hint, which was a lot more than a hint, and came to my apartment. And I made the mistake of opening the door to them and letting them in. And they were so obnoxious that I had to kick them out of my apartment. Wasn't easy. I'm not proud of it either. I shouldn't have let them in the first place. But since they were in, I literally had to gently push them towards the exit and close the door behind. And it was my right because it was my apartment. See how worked up I get talking about it? I get worked up because I put myself in that situation again. I remember what I was like when I couldn't say no or when I was starting to say no. Unfortunately, the person started harassing me. That relative started harassing me, and I took more drastic measures, but which was so scary and so taboo, taking measures and going no contact, taking measures against a relative. But at that moment, I had to choose. I had to choose whether I'd be the victim or in control of my life and suffer the consequences. Because if I choose to be the victim, it'll be a conscious choice. If I know a way out and I choose to stay the victim, then I shouldn't complain about it and I shouldn't blame it on the toxic person or the toxic situation. On the other hand, if I decide to do something that is considered taboo, like go no contact, again, I have to face the consequences. Maybe I have to face the shame and what other relatives will say or what people will say. But, just weigh the pros and cons. This is what I did. I took charge of my life, shut that person out of my life, and doing that helped me never be a victim again. I felt empowered. Again, this is the last resort. Shutting someone out. This is the last resort. Before you do that, make sure you try, because some other people get the hint. And I've had friends who got the hint. And actually, the more I work on myself, the more I'm able to express how I feel and promote open communication. And some people or situations that seemed toxic, well, they did so because I never put up any boundaries. I'd never had any personal limitations, and just doing that changed everything. So start with talking about it. And if you can't, keeping your distance. And if you're asked why, explain. And you'll take it from there. Just take the first step. Okay. I hope this helps. There'll be some more videos on energy issues that we might have after an encounter. So, make sure to wait for them. They're coming. It was nice talking to you again. Please tell me what you think in the comments. Please let me know if you think what I said is feasible or not. And please tell me what's stopping you from limiting contact. We might be able to work on that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.